I love the collaborative nature of HGMM. Kristopher has teamed up with Hyla, who will have a video out on the 15th with ideas for cooking with fresh veggies. Oh, and let's see, it was Tom's idea for the 2-video harvest to table concept. I wonder if we could get Mike to do a video to show us how to cook in our cars. Here's Kristopher.
Hello friends, I'm Kristopher, the Midwest Man Mountain. Welcome to my garden. It's the middle of summer. You've done all of this great work preparing and planting your garden, and now you're ready to enjoy some rewards. It's time to pick, but when do you know what you're supposed to be picking? Today I'm going to give you a few of my tips for when to pick certain vegetables, but in short, if it looks good enough to eat, it's probably ready to be picked. Let's go! Beans are a wonderful summer vegetable. Here in Wisconsin, they're most commonly an August vegetable, but I happen to be lucky with some of these purple beans that I planted. Now, you can tell when to plant them when they're long enough, a little bit firm, and you can feel the beans inside. This bean, for example, is about 5 inches long, and you can see it's got a little bit of girth to it. This has been growing and maturing for about 13 days. In contrast, one of these just came off the flower about 4 days ago. Green beans you can pick most commonly when they're just about the thickness of a pencil. You want to make sure that you can feel the bean on the inside, and if the color and size looks good to you, then they're ready to be picked. This head of cauliflower, or curd as is also known, is ready to be picked. Once a cauliflower reaches 6 to 12 inches in diameter, it's set to go. You want to be able to harvest it before it starts falling off of the plant. So, let's harvest. Look at that! It's perfect. I'm going to leave a few of these leaves on just to keep it fresh looking. And I think I'm going to steam this up and have it for supper tonight. Cucumbers can really grow. They're like zucchinis insofar as the more you harvest, the more you're going to get throughout the year in terms of yield. When to pick them, though, depends on what you want to do with them. The smaller the cucumber, the better it's going to be for canning in most cases, whereas the larger the cucumber is going to have more meat, so to speak, on the inside, and a greater quantity of seeds. If you're going to be using your seeds next year to plant your garden, then grow a great big one. You'll get a lot of seeds to use. Let me show you a couple examples. This cucumber right here is pretty big. I could have let it grow even bigger and gotten a lot of seeds out of it, but as it is right now, this is the size that I like. I like to take my cucumbers, wash them, and cut them into thin slices, sprinkle a little bit of salt on top of it, and eat them as a snack. They're quite delicious that way. This cucumber right here is about the size that's ideal for canning. If you like to make pickles, be sure to harvest your cucumbers when they're this size. In my opinion, lettuce, Swiss chard, and kale can be harvested whenever you like. You'll know when their leaves reach maturity because they'll start becoming more numerous in quantity, but the leaf size itself will stay about the same. This kale, for example, is about 3 inches wide by 6 to 8 inches tall. They become more numerous, and whenever I pick them, I keep at least half of the leaves on the actual plant. I just tend to thin it out. More will grow in their place. This kale will keep producing until late in October. Once blossoms like these appear on your peas, it's only a matter of 7 to 14 days before actual pods are going to appear. These pods are about 3 days old. This pod is about 10 days old. You can pick it whenever you like. I like to pick them when they're about as thick as they are wide. That's how I know the peas inside are going to be nice and sweet and not too woody. A pod like this one is a little bit thicker, and therefore the peas inside are going to be a little bit tough. Since most tomatoes start off green and then turn red, it's really easy to know when they're ripe enough to pick. Let me show you an example. Here's an example of some cherry tomatoes that I've been growing in various stages of ripeness. At the bottom, the tomatoes are still green. They're not ripe enough. And for this example, I'll have to throw them out, but that's okay, the birds will eat them. The ones at the top, however, are perfect, nice and red. Even these orange ones, they'll taste a little bit more earthy, but nonetheless, quite delicious. Oh, and look, another red tomato. It's my first of this kind for the year. This is a wonderful time of year when your vegetables are finally ripe enough to be picked. Remember to be proactive and pick them so that they don't start to rot or animals get them. And then you can do canning and you can do dehydrating and you can cook them. It's such a fun time of year. Zucchini plants love warm weather. Given the right temperatures in the 70s and 80s, they will grow and grow and grow. You can harvest zucchini throughout its life cycle. Once the plants are 4 inches or longer, you can pick them. The smaller the plant is, the more sweet it's going to taste, whereas the larger it is, the more seeds you're going to find. Now, zucchinis, if you don't want them to grow, you can either pinch the blossoms off, or you can keep a couple on the plant. That will discourage more zucchini to grow. I have here a zucchini. All I have to do is pull, and it comes right off. That's a smiley face. So what are your thoughts on the optimal time for picking vegetables from the garden? If you have any tips or tricks, be sure to let us know in the comments section below. While you're here, be sure to subscribe to Home and Garden for Mere Mortals, and then check out my site, the Midwest Man Mountain. Thanks a lot. See you next month. Bye. Gardens come in all shapes and sizes, but one thing's for sure. Every now and then, no matter what size your garden is, we could all use a little bit more space. Vertical gardening is a method by which we encourage plants to grow up instead of growing out.